So in today's video, we're going to talk about, are roadies nothing more than failed musicians? So here's a typical thing a lot of bands like to say: keep being a roadie since you can't actually do what you're intending to do. Either this is saying you're a horrible musician, you're not great, but you still want to be a musician, but stick to being a roadie, stick to just playing music as a hobby. And is being a roadie a real job? Some people say no, you're just a stoned out, miserable failure of a musician. Get a real job. So it's the same thing as saying if you're a Twitch streamer or you're a full-time YouTuber, people go, get a real job. Get a real job. People used to say, get a real job. It could be you now doing Uber Eats for a full-time gig, and all you're doing is driving around delivering food. That's a real gig. Nowadays, people consider real jobs something that you're going to, something that you're working for a business for. And to be honest, if you have a YouTube channel that is successful or you're roadieing for a band, you're not just a band's friend. You're now a guy who gets hired that actually makes a living setting the stage up, setting a guitar up. There's a lot that goes into being a roadie. And right here, the definition of a roadie, it says a person employed by a touring band or musician to set up and manage equipment. That's all it is. It's the road crew. And if you didn't have a road crew, I understand if you're a local band playing like a little bar here or there. But if you're a touring act like Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, Metallica, they have sometimes hundreds of people setting the stage up, breaking the stage down. If you're a band like Wage War playing a little venue like the House of Blues, you might have a little amount of people that show up for you because you're not really doing much. You're not setting up pyro or nothing like that. So if you look at somebody like Rammstein, they have a lot of people from pyrotechnics. They have a lot of people setting up the equipment, the stage hands. There's a lot that goes into it than just what people think a roadie is. And most people just think of a roadie as a hippie guy who doesn't want to work a regular job, who comes in and says, well, I could just put your amp on the stage. No, these people are actually, literally, a lot of them are trained musicians to go out on stage and they could jam and rip, but maybe they couldn't make it in the music industry, so they did it a different way. Just like somebody like me or you who just gets on our microphone and we shoot the shit and talk about music in a journalistic way. That is what it is. There's all aspects of people who want to be in the music industry and talk about music, and sometimes it's just interviewing people, podcasting, sometimes it's show up. But I actually believe a roadie is a real job. I think a roadie is not a failed musician. I think a lot of people nowadays, maybe they don't want to be out on the stage. Maybe they just want to be setting the show up and doing those kinds of things. Maybe they're just too shy to get on a stage because they have anxiety, but they could be behind the stage playing riffs on the guitar, warming the strings up, getting the guitar set. Those are the kinds of people that are overlooked every night. Every night, those guys that go out and put on a phenomenal live show, because they're actually setting the show up for, like Metallica, Hatebreed, whatever show they are setting the show up for. It could be mom and pop little bands, but if you're at the level where you're actually setting the show up for like a Metallica, a Lamb of God, you're doing big things. You're making big dollars. You might not be rich, but you're making more than the average person working at McDonald's or Walmart. And according to this website, I don't know how accurate it is, it says sound engineers, technicians can make a medium income of $60,000. So if you're touring with, let's say, Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, and you're making $60,000, that's not actually terrible money. It's not the best money in the world, but you're still being able to provide a living and put food on the table. And that's all that matters, because a lot of these people do go to college for sound and other jobs like that. So do I think a failed musician would turn into a roadie? Absolutely not. But do I think there is some roadies that would love to be out on that stage every night kicking ass and playing the show? Absolutely. But do some of them actually like doing what they're doing? Absolutely. Would I love to be a roadie? Absolutely. I would love to go on stage every single night and tune the guitars, tune the basses, and get it ready for the show. That's just something I've always enjoyed doing. Even on the local small shows where my friends were playing in these local like bingo halls, I would take their guitars and their amps and put them into the venue and set their guitars up. It was just what it is, and I like doing that. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's a failed musician. I just think it's somebody who loves music and they're going about setting the show up and they enjoy doing that. And if you can make a living off of it, cool. $60,000, like I said, is not a bad living consistently. And one thing about a roadie that's cool, you get, if you're in a traveling band, you get to travel basically for next to nothing. You're traveling with the band, going from city to city, seeing different things. So honestly, if you like to travel, that's a hell of a job right there. So with that being said, guys, let me know in the comment section below, is being a full-time roadie a full-time failed musician who's just trying to live through the band playing live, but they're doing it in other ways by setting the stage up, putting the amps on stage, setting the show up, but behind the closed doors they're like, I wish I was on that stage, I wish I was playing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And this has been another rock and metal news video. Just my topic. I decided it'd be something cool to talk about. Is a roadie a failed